Let's talk about something called enum. Enum is short for enumeration. In Swift, an enumeration is a way to define a type that can only be one value from a specific set of options. Think of it as creating a list of allowed choices. For example, if you're building something that tracks the weather, you might say the weather can be sunny, cloudy, or rainy. Instead of writing those as text strings every time, we group them together into one enum called weather type. This approach helps keep your code clean, prevents mistakes, and ensures you only use the values you've defined, nothing else. All right, now that we've defined our enum, the next step is to actually use it. Here, we're saying, let's create a variable called weather. And this variable should only be allowed to hold one of the cases we defined: sunny, cloudy, or rainy. So we give it the type weather type. Then we assign it a value, in this case, rainy. That means right now, we're saying the current weather is rainy. We could change it to sunny or cloudy later, but whatever we set it to, it always has to be one of the cases from the enum. That's why we use enums. They keep our values consistent, and they prevent us from accidentally using something that doesn't belong. Now that we've set the weather to .rainy, we want to show something different on screen depending on what the value is. This is where we use a switch. A switch lets us check which case the weather is currently set to, and then run different code for each one. So if the weather is sunny, we show a sun icon and a text that says it's sunny. If it's .cloudy, we show a cloud icon and the text it's cloudy. And if it's .rainy, we show a rain icon and the text it's rainy. The nice thing about this is Swift makes sure we handle all the possible cases. So if we ever add more weather types later, the switch will remind us to update this part too. This is a clean and safe way to react to different values in our enum. Example 2, the raw value. So far, we've created an enum and used it to control what's shown on screen. Now we're going to add something called a raw value to our enum. You'll notice this line at the top: enum type string. What we're doing here is telling Swift that each case in this enum will be backed by a string value. So when we write case sunny = sunny, it means that the case is sunny, but its raw value, its readable text, is the word sunny. We do the same for cloudy and rainy. This is helpful when we want to show the case name directly on the screen in a user-friendly way. In this view, we have a variable called weather, and we've set it to .cloudy. Now we want to show the current weather on screen. We do that by writing weather.raw value. What that gives us is the string cloudy, exactly as we defined in the enum. So instead of writing it manually, we pull it straight from the enum case. This makes the code cleaner, and it guarantees that the displayed text always matches the enum value. Now let's look at something called CaseIterable. By adding CaseIterable to our enum, we're telling Swift, hey, I want to be able to access all the cases in this enum as a list. This gives us something called weatherType.allCases, and that lets us loop through each weather type using a for each. So instead of writing out each case manually, we can just say, for each case in weather type, show me the icon, the color, and the label. This is great when you want to display multiple options on screen without repeating your code. Inside the view, we're using for each to loop through every weather case. For each one, we create a row with an icon and a label. The icon comes from weather.icon, the color from weather.color, and the label from weather.raw value. So just by adding CaseIterable to the enum, we can build this whole list dynamically. And anytime we add a new case to the enum, something at Kliskaba House, it will show up automatically in this list. No need to change the view.